How's it going, guys? Andy here, and welcome to another video. We've got a very special interview for you today with my good friend Reezy Resells. We've been chatting on Skype all about how he got started in the Amazon game, some interesting combinations and crossovers with the UK and US Amazon game. So I think you're going to enjoy this one. So sit back, relax, grab a beverage of your choice and enjoy this interview with Reezy Resells. All right, Mr. Resells, what do you prefer? Mr. Resells, Mike, Reezy,
You can call me Reezy. You could just call me Reezy.
All right. Listen, I wanted to speak to you. Thanks for taking a minute to chat to me because I got so many things I wanted to speak to you about. So I thought, let's jump on and have a chat to you face to face, and then we can pick your brains about a few things, and maybe we can extract some value for the audience as well while we're at it. How about that?
Yeah, sounds good to me. Let's do it.
Alrighty, because I think me and you, we've got a lot in common actually, because we've both been doing this whole reselling game a little while. And so when you got started, what date did you get started on Amazon?
Oh, honestly, I couldn't even tell you. It was about 13 years ago when I first listed my first thing on Amazon. Didn't have a clue what I was doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And did you go straight onto Amazon, or did you mess with eBay as well? What was the deal there?
So I sold on eBay since I was like 15 years old. But I didn't start selling on Amazon until I was about 20.
Okay. Yeah. So you'd always been messing around with them a bit, but when you got started properly, it was Amazon.
Honestly, I didn't even know Amazon existed until I listed something for sale on Amazon. I never purchased anything on Amazon, and I had no idea that that existed. I started to realize people were selling books, and then when I finally realized, oh, they're selling them on Amazon.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, oh, I guess I got to figure out what this thing is. But I never, I never bought a lot of stuff. I didn't have a lot of money, and I wasn't an early adopter for e-commerce, aside from selling on eBay.
All right. Okay, that's interesting. So how did that whole thing come about then? How did you get to the point where you didn't really know what Amazon was about, and then you were starting to sell books?
So I don't think they were running a lot of TV ads back in the day. And also, I was a teenager, so I was just outside skateboarding as much as possible. But eBay was running heavy ads on the television, and so that's how I found out about eBay. And actually, my little brother started selling stuff first, and then, of course, you can't let your little brother outdo you in anything. Yeah. And so I started selling as well, and we both pretty much sold everything that my mom would let us sell, and then we had to start going out and buying stuff. Okay. And we learned about buying stuff off of eBay and selling it back on eBay, because we sold our video game system with all the games and all the controllers and everything in one lot. Yeah. And the guy that bought it, his name was like video game seller guy or something like that. And so I went and looked at what he was selling, and I was like, oh, fuck me. He's selling a controller, a game, a system with the wires, and that's it. And so then I learned about breaking bulk. Mm-hmm. And so kind of learned about how to maximize our profit. And I did that for almost 5 years, and then I moved back to California, and I would just be out at thrift stores looking for stuff to sell on eBay or flea markets, and I would occasionally run into someone who was using a laser beam to scan books. Right. And I'm technology minded, so I just knew that those things weren't cheap. I knew they had to cost at least like $100. And so I would start. I tried to research it. There was no books written yet about how to sell books. There was no, I think it was pre-YouTube. There was no, there was no Reezy Resells, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. And so I would start asking people because I couldn't figure it out. And so I just started asking people, what are you doing? Because like when I would see them, that would be my only link, because I couldn't find it online. I didn't know it was called book scouting or anything like that. And so I just started asking you like, hey, what are you doing? And then they would like ignore me or clam up, or it just made me think they were making a lot of money because they weren't telling me anything. Yeah. And so I just continued on like that and asked every single person I saw. I would see like one person a month probably. And one day it was this elderly lady, and she was really nice, and she just told me what she was doing. She told me everything, the name of the app and everything. And from there, I went home, and the software company for the scouting app, they had a website with more information on it. And then that led to me connecting with a couple other people in different, it wasn't Facebook groups, but it was just different forums, online stuff.
Yeah.
And so I learned a little bit, and then I tried to sell them on eBay, and it didn't really work out so well. Especially, it took forever to list them.
Mm-hmm.
And at first, I was blind buying books. I actually started buying books before I knew what the scanner was called or anything. I had found out they were selling them on Amazon. And so I was buying books I would just look at them and go, I think this one is good.
Yeah.
No information at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would take it home, maybe 40 books. And out of those 40, I would have 10 or 15 that were good.
Mm-hmm.
And I would list them on Amazon, but they weren't selling, and I didn't know why. And it took me like 3 months to figure out how to price books. For some reason, I would look at a book and I would go, okay, the highest price on page 10 is this price, and the lowest price on page 1 is this price. And I would put it for the price on page 5 in the middle.
Yeah.
And it would never sell.
Yeah.
And someday I was like, maybe I should put the price to the lowest price. And then I did, and they started selling really well.
Yeah.
And so just learning from there on. I sold books for a whole year, over a year, as merchant fulfilled. And I wasn't a pro merchant, meaning I was getting charged an extra $1 for every sale.
Right.
So I sold maybe 2,000 books my first year or something like that, and essentially threw away $2,000.
Yeah.
And I did a lot of the classic rookie mistakes, like some person told me once, books over 1 million rank don't sell. So I would see a book, it would be like 1.1 million, and I'd be like, nope, get away. That's never going to sell.
Yeah.
And so obviously you learn over time, but then eventually FBA came out, and we started selling on FBA the year that it came out, which was a huge benefit for us, because when there wasn't a lot of items in the catalog at the warehouse, and so almost everything was worth money. So like books that hadn't been worth anything for the longest time, except for maybe selling hand to hand or to a bookstore, I could pick them up and sell them for $4 and on FBA and make $1.35.
All right.
And obviously that was like 12 years ago. Now to make $1.35 on an FBA book, you have to sell it for like $8 or $9.
Yeah.
So huge difference. And then some people that sell books in my area still don't do FBA. They just don't trust it, or they know about it, they're just not into it, or that's too technical for them or something.
Yeah.
They want the money back like the next day, or I don't know. But so then eventually people started selling FBA, and but still people were scared to send in heavy items, so they weren't sending in like 4 or 5 pound textbooks.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would, they would scan a textbook, and it'd be a good rank, but it would only be worth $8, and so they wouldn't sell it. They just throw it back, and then I would get it and I'd scan it and be like, "Whoa, the FBA price is $25, $50,
yeah,
or whatever." So for a long time, maybe I'd say for a good 3 years, there was a large arbitrage on books between the merchant fulfilled price and the FBA price.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I would have been a little bit smarter and realized I could have been buying them off of Amazon and then sending them back into FBA, but that business model hadn't really, like, there was no software for that. eFlip didn't exist yet.
Yeah.
I kind of realized it at one point, because I would get purchases from the same company, like New World Archive or whatever. I forget their name. They would order, they'd order a book from me, and I'd see 2 orders from this person, and then would get more, see 12 orders from this person.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, why do they keep buying books from me? Like, and then I would start looking at the books they bought from me, and then I would see that the FBA price was much higher.
Right.
And then I would go, oh shit, like I need to start sending everything into FBA.
Yeah.
Because we didn't go all in at first. We were just sending in the lightweight, low rank stuff because we were paranoid. So basically just been doing that for 13 years. And then 7 years ago, I partnered with my best friend from high school. After he graduated out of college for business and marketing, I had went to visit him. And then I had done well. I was at his house for a week, and I filled the living room up with 1,000 books.
Wow.
And ship them all out. And it kind of, I had been telling him about it, but for him to see it, it made it much more real for him.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, he was delivering pizza. He was managing 3 pizza restaurants or whatever.
Right.
And I guess he wasn't delivering, he was managing. But and then he was, he did that through college. And when he got out of college, he had the opportunity to start at Pepsi for $50,000 a year. And I was like, dude, don't do it. Like, we can work for ourselves and make much more money, And so I gave him a little cash to start up his operation, and we started it up separately as another operation. And then eventually we just ended up combining both operations into one.
Mm-hmm.
And basically that's pretty much the story. I started doing social media almost 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's interesting. What I noticed is back then, like, you were messing with pricing for 3 months and things like that, trying to figure that out. Yeah. Everything took an awful lot longer back then, because when I started, probably around about 2005-ish, that sort of time, as you say, no YouTube and no real communities as such. There probably were some bulletin boards or something, but I didn't know about them back then anyway. Right. Some DOS-based thing somewhere, but I didn't know the
Linux board.
Yeah, I didn't know the Morse code, so I couldn't get in that area of the internet back then. But I would spend months and years trying to figure out eBay, because I started on eBay, and I'd buy something and it would just shoot up like that, and I'd go, and it would hit a point, and it would go sell, and then I'd run out of stock, and I'd go and order some more, and then put it back into stock, and it just wouldn't sell so well. And I just couldn't work out why it would sell really well to begin with, and then after I ran out of stock, when I put it back into stock, it wouldn't sell. And for months and months, I was figuring all these sort of things out. And it took
What did you figure out?
Yeah, well, it was because of I would just let the listing finish, because I might have 5 items or something, and when the listing finished, I created a new listing. Whereas if I had a lot more to begin with, that would help. But eBay would reward the consistent sales. So if you keep that listing going, and you can keep the stock coming, and keep that listing open, then it would get more and more visibility in that area, because you're getting people coming and buying again and again. So I was stopping and adding a totally fresh listing that had no buys on it. And
can you do that? Can you do that now? You can replenish the quantity of the listing?
Yeah. I mean, for example, if you're getting low on eBay and you think you're going to run out of stock, you may see people that shoot their prices up to like £9,000 or something like that, because they've only got one left. They don't want that listing to die. So they might stick the prices right up just until the new stock comes in, and then they'll bring it down, so that listing just can keep going and going and going. And that's why you'll see, nice. If you're researching listings on eBay, sometimes you'll see someone that sold 10,000 units or something like that.
Yeah, I'd say 500 sold, 23 left.
Yeah, exactly. He hasn't done that in the last 7 days, but he's kept that listing going, and eBay just gives you lots more visibility for that particular product line and in that area. So, little things like this, well, it's quite a big thing in the end, so when I figured it out, but that took months and years to figure out, of just testing and tracking and stuff, because there wasn't anyone else to speak to or learn from. So it was just messing around and testing and trying to figure out what was going on. So yeah, that I think that I have in common with you. It's just slow back then, because there's no known information to start with. So I think if people are starting up now, it's probably quite healthy to realize how lucky you are, because there's so many people on hand to tell you stuff.
That's what I tell people, like, that are like in the UK or wherever, that I was like, man, you're like lucky to have, we pioneered a lot of it in America. Mm-hmm. So you can look to us. And then also I think we're like pioneering kind of like the social media stuff too. So
sure.
Not that not everyone's doing it elsewhere. It's just exploding in the US so much. Mm-hmm. And obviously a lot of English speaking countries that have access to the e-commerce platforms as well. And so, you can look at, and it's like, man, if it took 7 years for FBA to get a lot harder in America, it's not going to take that long in UK, because you guys already know how we did it. It's going to take 3 years or 4 years or whatever, but still it's like me talking to John Case. It's like I traveled back in time 4 years, and
I'm with
it's
you.
awesome for them.
Yeah, I mean, this is someone on the my wholesale help Facebook group asked me the other day about books. He said, "Are you still selling books?" I said, "Yeah, I'm selling a lot of books." And he said, "I was selling them, but we don't have the same opportunities in the UK as we do in the US to sell books." And I kind of laughed. It's like, well, okay, we don't have these massive, great stores full of aisles and aisles and aisles of books, but we also don't have millions and millions and millions of other competition. So what goes around comes around. Yeah, we don't have the opportunities. We don't have the...
Why, you guys don't read in the UK or what?
Sorry?
You guys don't read in the UK or what?
No, I don't know. I think you've just got one or two more inhabitants of the US. That's all it is.
Oh yeah.
But so
I'm so stupid. I thought London was a country up until about 3 months ago.
Yeah, you're not on your own. You're not on your own. It's a common mistake.
I'm such a dumb American. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I see a lot in the American videos that a lot of the Goodwill stores and things like this, they're large places, a lot of them, and there's a lot of opportunity there. But in the UK, we have charity shops, which are generally quite a bit smaller. They're not big retail outlets. They're small, and sometimes they have a book section within that small shop. So you might have one bookcase, and out of that one bookcase, half of it's fiction, and then there's 2 shelves of hardback books, for example. So it's fair to say that the volume may be lower in some areas, but there may be no scanners in those shops that you're going to. There'll be no people that are professionally buying those books. So certainly in my area, I can leave it a couple of weeks before I go back in, and there's a good chance no one has been buying books from there.
Wow.
And the competition is totally different.
In America, we got to go every day.
Yeah.
Just to keep the cupboard bare. So that when other people show up, they go, this place sucks, and then they don't come back.
They don't come back, yeah, right, yeah. So that's it. It's different.
1 second, Andy. I don't know how to do that right now. What are you watching right now? You're watching the cooking show. I know, but I don't want to watch it. All right, well, when I'm done, I'll change it for you. Sorry.
We're all right. So yeah, it's different. It's different. So that's okay. We don't have the retail arbitrage opportunities. We don't have the massive stores that have the discount. It's not as easy to fill a whole trolley or 2 trolleys full of RA opportunities. You can.
Trolley? Is that a grocery cart?
Grocery cart. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Awesome.
So you can't do that so much, but there are RA opportunities. And there's not as much competition, so it's slightly different, but there's still a lot of opportunities, and the lack of competition is also a big deal. I mean, there is competition, but there's always an opportunity to make money. So I definitely feel what you're saying. There's a lot of areas. There's still a lot of products that are not listed on Amazon UK for sure. A lot. If you spent your time just looking around stores, you could probably find a lot of items that have no listing whatsoever. And if you don't mind,
wow, that's a huge opportunity.
Yeah, putting the effort into creating those listings.
Honestly, if you're watching this and you're in the UK, you better hurry up, because the America is getting saturated to the point where we're starting to realize that we can make more money shipping our stuff to the UK to sell it.
There you go. Yep. There's
it's also people. with the conversion rate, we make money. So
yeah.
It's like 25%, I think, right now. So it's like I could have a product. I don't know the conversion exactly, but I could have a product where if I sold it in America, let's say for $10, I would make no money, 0.
Yeah.
But if I sold it in the UK for the equivalent of $10, which I think would be 12.50 pounds, I would make $2.50 profit.
Yeah.
American.
Yeah.
American.
Yeah.
So that's selling it for the exact same price, but the likeliness is that, like you said, it's not listed, or there's not a lot of competition, so the price is higher already, anyways. So and
absolutely.
I'm assuming the Amazon is, they're running ads and they have billboards and all that stuff. So
yeah, it's still growing.
The same.
They're pushing the Prime. I don't think the amount of Prime members are as high in the US. I mean, we don't have the issue as much with logistics and with shipping as you do in the US, because we're not we're a fraction of the size in terms of the actual country. So I know in America, I think people would quite happily use the Prime system because, you know, if they were to get it elsewhere or in another way, maybe it's not even available in the area of the country they're in, or it takes longer.
That's part of the reason, but mostly it's just Amazon has trained us to like to get things in 3 days, whereas before Amazon Prime, it was standard for a company you order something and they don't even ship it for 3 days.
Right. Okay. I'm with you.
And so then it would take 3 or 4 more days, and it would take like a week. And if it came in a week, you would be like, wow, that was fast, you know?
Right. Yeah.
But now everyone's used to 3 days, and they'd rather pay for it to show up in 2 or 3 days than waste their time to go and get it. Or, sometimes you go and it's not there at the store. I don't know, but when I ask, when I talk to people about what I do, I'm like, Amazon, and they're like, huh? And I'm like, you buy stuff on Amazon, right? I'm trying to illustrate the point to them.
Yeah.
And when someone says no, it's pretty rare. Yeah. And I look at them like, who are you? You don't buy on Amazon? Like, where do you buy stuff? Like, we don't even know where you could buy anything else at.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's getting that way now in the UK. I think more and more people are making use of the Prime membership, but in the UK there's not many scenarios. If a company posts your item, there's not many scenarios where you can't get it in 2 to 3 days anyway, because the country's just not that big. You know, it can go from anywhere in the country. With a courier, it would probably come down to your locality overnight, and then you'd have it that morning. That's kind of what happens with a courier. So there's less of that issue over here. But I think people are getting more onto Prime now just because it's so much easier, and people are time poor and have a little bit more money, and they know if they just buy it on Amazon, they know they don't have to worry. It's going to be with them tomorrow or the day after, and that's just a convenience. So the thing that I noticed that's happening as the internet provides us with more and more opportunities to connect, it becomes easier to make money, and there's more options and ways to make money. You know, if you can speak multiple languages, there's an app or a platform you can just sit in front of your laptop and translate for people and get paid, you know, or if you have an extra car in your driveway, you can put it on some app and then someone can rent it. Or if you have an extra room in your house, like, there's so much opportunity for ways to make money. If you have a good voice, you can do voiceovers for $20 on Fiverr or whatever, you know? Yep. So as we get more opportunities to do stuff, our time becomes worth more. Absolutely.
Just like that. And so when your time is worth more, you're going to use it, and you have less of it. So that's where the Prime shipping comes in. You know, It's like, I don't know if they had the foresight to think about that, but that's the way I think about it, is that like innovation in the internet space, it's essentially driving inflation basically, because we're able to make more money with our time, but then the companies are like, well, I can charge more too. Yeah,
it is. I think people are understanding that now a lot more, that sometimes it's worth paying a few pounds more just for the convenience. This is a story I told probably last year. I was off on holiday somewhere. I like to swim a lot, and my set of goggles I used weren't working properly, and it was a couple of days before I was due to leave. And so I looked them up on Amazon. They were available there. They weren't the cheapest, but I knew if I ordered them Prime, they'd be the quickest way to get them to me before I went away. So it was about £3.50 more. So it wasn't a massive amount, but I would have probably taken it from the other site, just because why waste money? So right. I'm preferring to use Amazon because I need the things, and I want.
So what was the actual price of the goggles? Like $20?
Yeah, something like that. It was about £20.
So how much would you have paid? $30? $40?
Well, yeah. I mean, if they were there, then probably, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you needed it, right?
Yeah, I needed it, and I was going away, and the ones that I had didn't work. So if they were 35, I would have sworn and then bought them. So
right, because that's the thing, is that it's not necessarily just the product. The extra value is that you needed it right then, you know, or you're gonna have to swim with your eyes open.
Well, exactly. It's not an option. It's not a bloody option. So
there's that situation. But like I was saying previously about time becoming worth more, And obviously time is the real commodity. It's the only thing that really matters is time.
For sure.
Because you can always make more money.
Yeah.
But time is finite. You never know how much you're gonna have. You could be over tomorrow, and you can't once it's gone, it's gone. So
yeah.
if somebody can save you money, that's essentially like buying your time back. And as the value of time increases, then the amount that they can charge for saving you time also increases.
Yeah. I think for a lot of people, when I just chat to people who know what Amazon is, but they don't really understand the reselling concept, they're blown away by the idea that you could pick up a book in a charity store for £1 and sell it for 25, and they're literally, their eyes are like, what the fuck? It's like, how is that a thing?
Hey, a lot of people also didn't grow up doing stuff like that, so they're also they're still not going to do it, but they're exactly. I always sold candy in school, or before I was selling stuff, I used to steal when I was a kid, or I used to do little scams. I wasn't a good kid, but I sold drugs for a while when I was younger. And then when eBay came out, I was like, oh man, this is the thing right here. You just sell stuff on the internet. Because I was always on the computer and on the internet all the time, trying to do whatever was cool with the internet, and I used to run some ads I'd be on the internet, but I have a banner ad on my computer, and they would pay me 5 cents an hour. So I'd get a check for $9.50 a month. And my mom would be like, where did this come from? And I'd be like, it's internet shit, Mom. Don't worry about it.
It's fine. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Love it. But this is the way things are going. The e-commerce is still the forefront of modern technology, and it's growing and it's expanding. And I think, my job a lot of the time when I'm chatting to people is getting their head around the opportunities that are growing every day. And, things as they've progressed, when I just look over the last 10 years where I've started and where we are now in terms of how much more efficient I can be with my time, how much more volume I can sell, and how much easier it is to identify markets when I used to be trawling through live eBay auctions and just literally looking for trends and writing down on a bit of paper with a freaking pen some ideas and keeping hold of a big stack of papers and physically just trawling night after night, hour after hour. And now you can load up a piece of software, click of a button, and it just tells you all these stuff that you can buy for a profit. And it's crazy, and it's just getting more, and it's getting more profitable and more it's bigger opportunities. So for me, I'm really I'm totally passionate about this whole sphere, because every time a new thing comes out and a new opportunity, I'm just ready to crack on and try something else. So yeah, it's really taken over my life, really, from just messing about with it. It's now just totally part of what I do now. Every time I look at something, I'm always looking at opportunities rather than just, oh, that's cheap. I think, how many can I buy? Have you got 2 boxes at the back? What's going on? Can I buy all of those? So this is my life now. But they're just the opportunities.
What do you need them for? Christmas gifts.
I just really I've got a lot of family, so they all like the same thing. But yeah,
I'm a really lazy gift buyer.
Yeah, I just like to buy it on bulk in June, and then it's all done for Christmas. But yeah, this is it. It's really fun for me when I show people that want to get started, and I show them, look, this is what the opportunity is. It's easy saying it, but when you show them and say, look, here's money, this is money all day long, do that, and you made money, do that. And people suddenly understand that they can physically change their life and the way they live by doing some stuff on the internet, and all of a sudden they can have their time back and start spending more time with the family or traveling or doing whatever they want. It's like, this is real stuff, this is real life stuff. If you want to pay attention rather than just sitting and watching something for fun just to pass the time, if you actually got out there and hustled a bit, you can really change things up. So, that's when it gets special for me, when I can put a rocket underneath someone and someone takes your word and goes out and does it, like our man John Case, who just gets his hustle on and changes his life. So that makes me very very enthusiastic to try and do it again and again and help more people. So
it's I honestly, starting the social media thing and helping people for it, it totally changed my life because I was already making money. Not like I'm rich or anything. It's especially since how expensive it is where I live. But it was almost like it seemed like a job for me. I like it and it's fun, but I kind of thought that that was my thing. But I realized now that totally wasn't. I'm much more excited to teach someone else and for them to make their first dollar, their first 100, their first 1,000, for them to say, hey, thanks to you, I was able to quit my 9 to 5 job. Now I don't have to wear a suit anymore every day.
Sure.
And like John, now I might be able to start breakdancing again, or that when people I just didn't realize how addicting it would be for someone to tell you thank you, like you helped me, you changed my life.
Yeah,
I go out to meet with people and they don't let me pay for anything.
Yeah,
they won't let me. I'm like, you don't have to pay, and they're like, no, you're not paying. You're not paying. They're like, you helped me pay for my son's first year of college. A woman told me that I helped her pay off her $40,000 student loan.
Wow, that's
amazing. She was crying and she gave me a hug, and I was like, you don't have to cry. And then she told me that, and I was like, okay, maybe you do have to cry. Give me a hug.
Well, that's so special. Isn't that an amazing thing to do, to be able to help people in that way? I mean, for me, it's a real buzz when I do the courses in London and people show up and I can physically in real time show them what the opportunities are and feed off that energy when their eyes are going like, oh my God, I didn't realize I could do this. What
kind of stuff are you going to be doing live?
So on the course, I've kind of broken it down. I've been doing it for a few years now, and I've kind of broken the whole structure down into something that's actionable. So to begin with, we start right at the beginning and talk about the whole process of FBA and why FBA is more important than merch and why we have so many more opportunities with FBA. So getting things straight, and then we kind of go into bestseller rank and what that's all about, and why it's important in the context of everything, why it's not the be all and end all, but why it is important and how it affects it. And I show some keeper grass and some camel and see how it affects it by purchases and stuff like that. So really understanding the mechanics of how Amazon works in that side of things. And then we talk about different opportunities, different techniques like buying used books, retail, online arbitrage and that sort of stuff, and then tying up the technical with the actual going out and doing the physical stuff. So once you understand the whole process of analyzing the data, which is the key thing, which people don't realize, some people come from eBay and do the whole, oh, I think that would sell well type of thing, whereas you don't really do that with Amazon, or that's not how I teach it. The data is everything, and you're harnessing and filtering data to tell you what you want to buy. I'll buy 1 million wooden spoons if I'm going to make money off it. I don't care. I sell all sorts of stuff.
Right.
So the data will tell me what to buy. So once you understand how to do that efficiently and effectively using the tools, then you can go out with your phone and you can use that. So if you're in a shop, then you can use that data and these 3 elements that I use, tell them to use, and like a physical checklist in their mind. Can I this, right? And then you can proceduralize the whole thing, so you're not really thinking, oh, it might work, it might not. You're saying, no, I'm going to buy this because I've got check, I'm 100%, I'm going to buy this. And then you keep doing this, you keep doing that. So once you've got that procedure, Reezy, it's just money there. That's all you do. You start with, if you start with 50 quid or you start with 500 quid, you follow the procedure, you look for something. No, it's not going to sell. It's not good enough. Okay, that will, that won't. You keep doing that and filtering that, and then you've got some stuff. You send it into Amazon, and then it sells, and then you take that money and you do it again, and that's it. Then you've got a job, and then you can just rinse and repeat, and then you build it up. And that's what I teach people to do, and then most of them go out and do it. And like the first lot of guys last year, Simon made over £5,000 in his first month going through this process that I showed him. Stephen made like 800 quid. And Mark from the last lot, he made over £5,000 as well, just going through this routine and this process, because I mean, you can teach people abstract techniques and ideas, but they'll go, oh, that's nice, and then they won't go and implement it, you know. So what I've tried to do is say, literally, do 1, do 2, do 3. So there's no room for, I'm not sure it's going to work. It's like, don't worry what you think, just do this. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Just do what you're told. That's all you have to do. I've made it easy. So you follow the steps, you do what you're told, and then you make money, and that's it. So I'm kind of funneling everyone into this point where all you have to do, I've showed you the principles, I've showed you the techniques, but now I'm leaving you with something where you just do what you're told and get on with it. And then we've got this support group on Facebook, and then people can ask questions, because you don't remember everything. You can ask questions and I'll remind them. But trust me, when they come on the course, I'm going to be messaging them saying, I haven't heard from you, what's up? Have you made any money yet or what? And if they say, no, you know, I've been busy with the kids, it's like, fine, get a move on, you know, because everybody who comes on my course makes money, and that's the way it works.
Right.
Because that's my reputation. If you're coming and you're investing in this ticket, you know, I'm not making a lot of money because it costs a lot to put on events like this. But when you invest your money, that might be a lot to you, then I have a responsibility to make you into profit. So that's kind of what it is. When they come on the course, I'm like, okay, I'm your man now. You know, you're going to make a profit.
I respect that.
So, you know,
that's how. I respect that, because I know a lot of people approach me to affiliate market their courses for them, and I'm fine with that, but like, I don't do a lot of it at all. But really, I have to believe in the product. Like, actually, everything that I recommend is stuff that I use, and maybe 1 or 2 things that I don't use it, but I know someone who uses it full time. And so I know people that I trust are making a living using it. And so I know it's good. Yeah. But recently someone was like, hey, we got this wholesale course, you know, would you, you know, and it's a $2,000 course, and I would get $1,000 every time I sold it. Sure. Through affiliate marketing, which would be great, you know, but the first thing they tell me is, so-and-so made $100,000 selling this course. Hey, you want to sell our course? So-and-so made $100,000 selling our course. Yeah. And I'm like, cool, but how many people what's your success rate? Yeah. You know, like, and they didn't even know. Yeah. They didn't know. They don't even track it. Because they're not concerned with their students succeeding. They're just concerned with selling courses. Right, exactly. And so, you know, even though I could probably make enough money to buy a house in California off of pushing that course, I can't do that because I'm not in it to make, I mean, obviously I'm making money from helping people, but that's not the reason why I do it. Exactly. And I respect my audience, and I wouldn't, you know, maybe it is the greatest course in the world, but if you don't have that statistic for me, then I don't feel comfortable even looking at it, you know? Yeah. So I really respect that you keep track of that and you are in touch with your clients. Yeah, well, that's exactly how I feel. I mean, I've got a bit of a community on YouTube. I have done for a while, and I've been approached by people with different courses. I'm not going to name them, but the same sort of thing. It was heavy on the marketing. It was heavy on that side of thing. And I know full well I would have made a lot of money if I'd promoted that course. And I think you could make some money, but it was more weighted into getting the next person into it. So they were spending more time telling you that you can earn more money trying to get your friend to take this course than you can actually doing what they're teaching you. So it didn't feel right. I thought, okay, you might be able to make some money, but it doesn't sit well with me, so I'm not going to promote it. And yeah, I left a lot of money out there, but yeah, to me, you've got to help people first, and then the money comes anyway. So, you know, I take it personally when people come on my course and I can't get them into money. I take it personally. It pisses me off because, you know, I can't physically make someone go out and follow what I'm helping them to do. So some people you just can't help, unfortunately. Maybe they choose it's not right for me at the moment or whatever, but you know, ultimately they have to get to the point where they say, no, I appreciate your help, but I'm not going to do this. So it pisses me off, and I take it personally because I want every single person at the very least to be into a decent amount of profit. And if I can't do that, then, you know, I've failed at what I'm here to do. So, you know, that's what I always try and do I aim to get 100% of people that come on my course
to,
So
you know.
you're gonna bug the shit out of them, or they're
Yeah.
gonna just say, hey, I
Yeah.
give up.
No, yeah, exactly. I'm not just going to make a presentation and they say, thanks, guys, see you later. And that's not how it's going to work. I'm going to be your accountability partner. And some people like John, you show them how to do it and they're like, wow, cool, this is cool. And then they're off and running, and then they'll seek out more information and they'll push on and they'll expand. And he's done really well because I showed him the way, but he did the work, and he did a lot of work. And that's why he's done so well, because he's been single-minded and he's focused and he's not got distracted. And, I told him about your stuff because he really liked the idea of the book. So I said, right, go and see Reezy because he really knows the books, So he went and he found everything he could from you. He asked you loads of questions and you got him going with the books. And that's why he's done so well, because he's focused and he's single-minded. But
because a lot of people, they say they want to change their circumstances, but then when they get off work, all they want to do is watch TV and have a beer.
Exactly.
And that's not how it works. If you want to change your circumstance, you have to give up your luxury time, at least some of it. You have probably at least 8 hours you're probably awake 16 hours a day.
Yeah.
Which means you have at least 4 for sure, and maybe 8 that you can use to, and that's even with having 8 hours of sleep still and not really cutting into it.
Yeah.
But you could, which you don't need 8, you could go off of 5 or 6 or whatever. But, he would go on his lunch break to go buy books, and he would come back from lunch and he would have a bunch of, he went to charity shops and he wears a suit at work, and they were like, what are you doing with these books? They would laugh at him,
Yeah.
Well, who's laughing now?
Exactly. Now he's not working there anymore, and he's doing his own thing. So that's the key for me is it's up to you. If you just want to earn some extra money to go on holiday and extra time a year, then fine. A couple of hours a week, you can make some flips and you can make some money. If you want to pay your car payments and get a new car, then another 3 hours, 4 hours a week, you could probably make some flips and make some money. It's as much as you put in is as much as you're going to get out. If you want to say, right, I'm going to replace my income and make a shed load of money, then you've got to John case it up. You've got to do some serious hours, and you've got to sleep on your sofa most of the time and fill up your house full of books. But that's what he wanted to do, and that's what he's done. So, I respect that, and I respect the people that are willing to take my advice and run with it, because it's easy to make money, but it's harder to say, this is what I'm going to do for the next 8 months. I'm going to put on Game of Thrones and put that to one side, and I'm going to put my football watching to one side, and I'm just going to smash this out and live this for a little while and reap the rewards. So I respect people that are always willing to do that, and I'm certainly going to be there for them if they are, because I have people from the very first courses years ago asking me questions, and I'm always there to answer them, because if they're there to make their life better, then I'm there to help them. So that's why I do it now, because I get so much satisfaction when people run with the ball, and that's why that's why I really enjoyed watching your stuff. Because don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people now teaching people how to do stuff on eBay and Amazon, and there's some good people out there, but there's also a lot of lukewarm, sort of rehashed information that's just generally around, that people are jumping on the bandwagon and stuff. But when I saw your videos when you first started making stuff on Snapchat, I was like, this guy knows what he's talking about. This guy really he really gets it. And for probably one of the first time, I didn't consume that much content really, because I was more interested in getting out and working and making my own videos. But for the first time, I really wanted to listen to what you got to say, and I felt the passion and the knowledge, and I was like, this guy knows what's up. So that's why I sent John over to you. And that's when I was like,
thank you, I appreciate it.
Well, no, it's because you're the real deal, and I like that. When I meet someone who is authentic, I'm like, no, this guy knows what's up. So I'm glad that I found you on the interwebs, and that's why I said, Reezy, if you can, come down to London and let's do one of my courses together, because I think with my structural courses and your knowledge and experience, we'll have a lot of fun, and I think we're going to give a lot of experience out there. So I'm looking forward to you coming over to London and doing this course with me in August. It's going to be a lot of fun.
We're going to make a couple millionaires.
Yeah, that's it. So yeah, if
That's the one thing that I really like about it is that there's people that I've taught everything that I know, and they took what I taught them, and they sold books for a little bit, and so they could quit their job. But then they started doing retail arbitrage, and then they started doing Airbnb or whatever, and now there's loads of people that when they met me they didn't know much, and now they're teaching me stuff because they've just went at it in different ways, and that's really exciting for me.
yeah.
Is that I'm learning from people that I taught, and they're more than happy to tell me everything they know because I helped them out.
Well, this is it. You see, I think that's the biggest compliment you can get. If someone overtakes your own ability in a certain area and suddenly does better than you, then I think that's as good as it gets, really. If people can crack on and do that, then that's the ultimate compliment. So if we can generate some millionaires, I would be very happy indeed. Trust me, that would be an awesome thing. Anyway, I think we need to wrap this up because my laptop's getting very hot and making some funny noises. So, it might cut out if we're not careful. But we've been chatting for like 45 minutes, which is awesome. And I've enjoyed chatting to you, man. But just to finish off, if anyone is in the UK or you can get to the UK, Reezy's coming down with me in London on August the 12th. We're going to mess some shit up and we're going to have a lot of fun. And we're going to not stop until you guys really understand this Amazon deal. And if you want to come down and learn from us, there's some seats available. It's a live 1-day course, and if you go to fbaacademy.com, then there's a video on there where I'll tell you all about the details and how you can get tickets. So yeah, if you're in the UK or in Europe and you want to get to the UK, then that would be really cool. I'll put the link in the description, so if anyone can check that out.
Make sure you come so we can go to the pub afterwards.
We're going to the pub afterwards. Don't worry about that.
Oh, we're gonna take over the pub.
The pub's gonna be banging afterwards. That's for sure.
We're gonna turn the pub into a club.
That's it. All right, man. Listen, I'm gonna let you get back to your day, but it's been really good speaking to you, and I'm looking forward to hanging out with you in August.
Awesome.
All right, man. Take
care. See you
then,
Andy.
Ciao.
Bye.
What's up, guys? What's up, guys? Andy here, and welcome to another video. I've got a very special interview for you today with my good friend Reezy Resells. He jumped on Skype with me last night, and we had a really interesting. What's up, guys? How's it going? Andy here, and welcome to another video. Got a very special interview for you today with my good friend Reezy Resells. We jumped on Skype just this morning to talk about. What's up, guys? What's up, guys? How's it going, Andy? How's it going, guys? Andy here, and welcome to another video. A very special interview for you. How's it going, guys? Andy here. How's it going, guys? Andy here, and welcome to another video. Got a very special interview for you today with my good friend Reezy Resells. We chatted. How's it going, guys? How's it going, guys? Andy here, and welcome to another video. Got a very special interview for you today with my good friend Reezy Resells. We had a really fun chat on Skype. How's it going, guys? Andy here, and welcome to another video. I've got a very special interview for you today with my good friend Reezy Resells. I'm just going to have to smash it out and see how we get on. How's it going, guys? Andy here, and welcome to another video. We've got a very special interview for you today with my good friend Reezy Resells. Now I don't know what to say. That's the trouble. How's it looking? Good? Alright, we're good. How's it going, guys? Andy here, and welcome to another video. We've got a very special interview. How's it going, guys? Andy here, and welcome to another video. We've got a very special interview for you today with my good friend Reezy Resells. I think you're going to enjoy this one, so grab a beverage of your choice, sit back and enjoy my interview with Reezy Resells. How's it going, guys? Andy here, and welcome to another video. We've got a very special interview for you today with my good friend Reezy Resells. We've been chatting on Skype all about how he got started in the Amazon game, some interesting combinations and crossovers with the UK and US Amazon game. So I think you're going to enjoy this one. So sit back, relax, grab a beverage of your choice, and enjoy this interview with Reezy Resells. How's it going, guys? Andy here, and welcome to another video. I've got a very special interview for you today with my good friend Reezy Resells from California, USA. We had a chat. We had a really... How's it going, guys? Andy here, and welcome to another video. Got a very special interview for you today with my good friend Reezy Resells. We had a really fun chat about how he got started on Amazon and some interesting crossovers and differences between the UK and Amazon selling game. So I think you're going to find this one very interesting. So grab a beverage of your choice, sit back, relax, and enjoy this interview with Reezy Resells.